Hi, alright, now I'm actually putting my zip in. You can see this side of the zip, I do it a totally different way from a lot of people, and probably every time will show you their methods, and I learnt this method from this, as I said, from this great trouser tailor who's been making trousers for over 50 years. And I like this way because you can actually overlap the trousers, you can actually control how much it overwraps, and also you can actually match up all the checks exactly, because you know, if you cut it wrong you'll never match up the checks, and also you've got to match up the seam of the waistband exactly. But also this ensures the overwrap, the trouser won't be shown if you have it less, because a lot of tailors, or probably people who are in sewing, they'll make up the zip placket and stitch the zip onto the placket and then put it into the trousers. But you're just gauging roughly where it's going to sit, where this way you can control, you see, the wrap over, how much you want to put it over. So this way I do this. So what you do, you get the fly, and then you just wrap it over. You can see I'm wrapping it over the trouser where I think how much wrap it's got to go over, because you don't want that gaping once the zip's in. Especially on the thick trousers, I put it a little bit over and more. So I'm controlling, you see, the wrap over, I'm controlling how much I'm putting over. And I'm just basting the top fly to the underside of the other side of the trousers. So you can see what I'm doing here now. And I'm just making sure, because this tweed stretches a little bit, and you can stretch that out of shape quite easily, tweed can, so you've got to be very, very careful. So you can see what I'm doing now. So I'm just making sure this is wrapped over to there, matching the seams up there, and see, I'm just matching, and because there's a check on this, I need to match up exactly. And because this tweed stretches, I'm going to shrink it back into place, because it has stretched fractionally out. But that's fine. This will stretch anyway. I mean, this will shrink back into place anyway, so I'm not too bothered about that, to be quite honest. So it's going to be fine. So you've got to try and be as accurate as you can when you're doing things. So you can see that now. So it's going to be matched exactly going across the fly there. And the seam of the waistband, if you stitch it exactly, see, it's exactly seam on seam of the waistband there. So I'm just going to finish this off, and I'll show you the end result. Alright, so I've matched up exactly now, so you can see. So I've basted the fly over to the other side, so that's holding it in place. And the most important thing at the top, it should be exactly seam to seam where the waistband starts, so you can see. Seam to seam is exactly. You've got to try and endeavour to match up the stripes as well. That's down to your cutting really, you've got to make sure. And when that waistband's turned back on itself, that will be exactly matching the waistband. The extension will match as well, exactly. And that's what you've got to try and strive for. Now if I turn this fly, well, turn my trousers to the wrong side now, you can see the position of the, you can see the position of the zip, and I'm going to mark that here, and I'm just going to and this is where I'm going to stitch the zip to here. You see what I'm doing? So this way, I prefer this one. I do this with all my trousers. And then what I do here, you can see there, just mark that. It's got to be pretty straight. And then what I do, I just mark across to some balance points, just going down. So it ensures that the zip won't go up or down. It will go exactly to those balance points. You can see, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's it. And that's how you place your zip on this bespoke method, which I do all the time, which I learnt from a great trouser maker. So what I do now is just undo this. I mean, you can actually start sewing on there now, but I don't. I've got more control by just undoing this stitch now. As you can see, just undo this now. This is just a holding stitch, a basting stitch, that's all it is. So, and then what I'll do now is, you can see this now. Just turn this to the wrong side now. These are very, very thick trousers. I think these could be 20-22 ounce. So they are very thick. You can see my lovely maroon lining on the inside. And then I've got my beautiful Cilicia, cotton Cilicia, very heavy duty as well. And then what we'll do in here now, and you can see on my zip fly, I always put a piece of binding. It just gives a nicer, neater finish on there anyway. That's fine. And then what I do now, just undo my stitches here, just holding the fly section in. You can see, just take that out. So now my fly is totally free now. And then what I do, you can see now, put that together, and then I'm going to stitch it. You can see now I'm going to baste this down because this stretches the tweed does, and I've got to be a bit careful. But what you do, you can see, put it to the line, you can see the line, and this I'm going to baste down because the chalk mark is going to disappear rapidly because it's a tweed fabric. You can see on the edge of the line now. I'll get my balance points, and then to there, all the way down there, and then that'll be stitched twin stitches, and that's my zipping. So that's my method, which I've learnt from a great trouser tailor, and I do this all the time, and you get accurate results, and you don't need to gauge roughly where the overwrap of the fly is, because you actually control the actual wrap yourself. So hopefully that you've seen a little glimpse into how I do some of my bespoke tailored trousers, and I'll see you when I near completion of these trousers. Ciao.